Okay everyone, so this is our next lesson on expanding brackets, and I'm going to show you a question now where a mistake has been made. So I want you to pause the video and see if you can spot the mistake. So here it is. Okay, so to go through where the mistake is here, well, if we look at what's actually been done first, we can see that 2 plus 5 has been done to get 7. And then this bracket has been expanded to give 14x plus 21. Now, what has been forgotten here is that when we have 5 bracket 2x plus 3, that means 5 multiplied by 2x plus 3. Now, that means we have an addition to complete and a multiplication to complete. And we know that if we have different operations in any kind of number or algebraic equation, we need to use BIDMAS. Now, BIDMAS tells us that we must do our multiplication first and then our addition. So the fact that 2 plus 5 has been done first is not correct because it isn't following BIDMAS. What we must do is do the multiplication first, so multiply out those brackets to give 2 plus 10x plus 15. And then we would do the addition or collect the like terms in this expression to give us 10x plus 17. So just to look at a few more examples of this, you should copy these examples into your book. We want to expand the brackets and simplify these expressions. So here we have 9 plus 5 times 2x plus 3. So we need to complete that multiplication before we complete the addition. That will give us 9 plus 10x plus 15. And notice as well how I'm working downwards in my working out, and I'm also writing every term underneath kind of where I got it from, and that's a really clear way to show you're working out. So the 9 is beneath the 9 and the 10x is beneath the 5 times 2x and the plus 15 is beneath the plus 3. Then I can collect my like terms, so I can see that the positive 9 and the positive 15 are like terms. They are not like terms with the 10x though, because we have a different variable, and that means I can get 10x plus 24 as my answer. In our next example, we have 6 multiplied by 2x minus 3, add 30. So we must do our multiplication before we complete this addition at the end. So that gives me 12x take away 18 plus 30. And I'm then going to collect the like terms, and I can see that the like terms are negative 18 and positive 30, but 12x is not like terms with those. So positive 30 take away 18. Remember, when you have your bubbles like this, you can just switch them around to make it easier for yourself. So if I just switch these bubbles around, I'd get plus 30 minus 18, which I can work out easily, gives me plus 12. And then the 12x can't be collected with anything, so it needs to just stay as it is. And one more example here. We have 20.5 plus 4 multiplied by 2x minus 0.5, take away 11x. So we have a multiplication here that we need to complete before we start adding and subtracting things. So when I multiply out those brackets, I'm going to get 20.5 plus 8x, because 4 multiplied by 2x is 8x, take away 2. Because we have the positive 4 multiplied by the negative 0.5, and that gives negative 2. And then the take away 11x is still here. We haven't done anything to that yet. Again, my working out is I'm working downwards down my page, and I'm trying to write everything underneath where it came from. Then I'm going to collect the like terms, so I can see that plus 8x and negative 11x are like terms, and then the 20.5 and the negative 2 are also like terms. So I'll need to collect these together, and that will give me 18.5 when I collect together my orange bubbles, and when I collect together my blue bubbles, I'll get take away 3x. So these are our answers to the 3 questions, but you may have got slightly different answers. So for the first one, you may have actually collected your numbers first and got 24 plus 10x, and that's absolutely fine. Because remember, we can just rearrange expressions by using bubbles, and if I put bubbles around 10x and plus 24 and switch the order around, I get an identical answer, so it's absolutely fine to do that. For the middle one, you may have gotten 12x plus 12 plus 12x instead of 12x plus 12. Again, these two answers are completely identical. If we use our bubbles, we can just rearrange one to get the other. They're exactly the same. And lastly, for this one, you may have got a negative 3x plus 18.5. Again, that's completely fine, because if we use our bubbles around 18.5 and negative 3x, we will get just this, we can rearrange to get this expression. So any of these answers are acceptable for these problems. Here are some practice questions then, and there are 6 questions, so if you pause the video, have a go at these, and then we'll mark them together. Okay, so we're going to mark these questions. So for the first one, we need to multiply out the bracket first to give 9x plus 12x plus 66, and collecting like terms to give us 21x plus 66. I'm not going to give the rearranged version of every single problem here, so you might just need to take your initiative to mark your work. If you got, if you got 66 plus 21x, you know that that is also correct. For the next one, 14 plus 4j subtract 4 is what we get when we multiply out the brackets. Remember, positive 2 multiplied by negative 2 will give us negative 4. And then when we collect the like terms, we get 10 plus 4j. Again, you may have gotten a rearranged version of this, so just take your initiative to mark that yourself. In the next one, when we multiply out the brackets, we get 200h, take away 200 plus 5.5, and collecting the like terms gives us 200h subtract 194.5. In the next problem, multiplying out the brackets gives us negative 72 plus x, because we have a negative multiplied by negative giving us a positive, and then the plus 5.5 is just waiting there. And then when we collect like terms, we get x take away 66.5. In the next example, when we multiply out the brackets and rewrite the expression beneath, we get 3c plus c plus 0.5 subtract 2, and collecting the like terms gives us 4c take away 1.5. And for the last one, we just needed to actually remember how we add fractions together. So multiplying out the brackets first, though, gives us 2/3 plus 12, take away 6x plus 5/6. So the challenge for you here is to add 2/3, 12, which you know you can write as 12 over 1, and plus 5/6 together. So it's just revising your adding fractions skill. And when you do that, you should get 27 over 2, take away 6x. So we're going to do some more examples, and these are even trickier than the previous ones. So make sure you copy these down into your book. So in these examples, you can see I've got 5 multiplied by 2s plus 3, and I'm adding that to 2 multiplied by s plus 1. And we still need to obey BIDMAS in these problems. I still need to complete these multiplications before I can complete the addition. So doing the multiplications, or expanding the brackets, in other words, gives me the expression. Oh, here we go. So just going back a little bit. When I multiply out the first bracket, I'm going to get 10s plus 15. And when I multiply out the next bracket, I've got positive 2 multiplied by s, and then positive 2 multiplied by positive 1. Positive 2. And then I'm just going to collect like terms. So 10s and plus 15 are not like terms, so I will use different colours. And then plus 2s and plus 2, I need to make sure I'm making sure my colours correspond to my like terms here. So collecting this together gives me 12s plus 17. Again, you may have got a rearranged version of this. 17 plus 12s is also correct. So, slightly harder question than previously. Let's look at this one. Now this one is going to be a little bit trickier, because notice it's actually pretty much the same as the previous question, except we have this subtract 2 times s minus 1 here. So let's see what effect this negative in the middle here has on our answer. So when we multiply out these brackets, we're going to get 10s plus 15, take away 2s, add 2. Be very careful here. We've got negative 2 multiplied by s is negative 2s, and negative 2 multiplied by negative 1 is positive 2. So you have to be very careful, because that is a mistake that's often missed out of people's work. So when we collect the like terms in this expression, we get ourselves 8s plus 17. A slightly different answer to before. So hopefully that's not too much of a leap though from the previous examples. So have a go at these 4 practice questions, pause the video, and then we'll mark them together. Okay, so we're going to go through these and I'll mark now, and they're all very similar to each other, so hopefully you were able to spot subtle differences between these questions. Make sure you're marking your work in a different colour and doing any corrections in a different colour as well. So when we multiply out the brackets in the first expression, we get ourselves 12s plus 8 plus 5s plus 40. Now everything is positive in this, so we don't need to worry too much about getting ourselves confused with negatives. When we collect like terms, we get 17s plus 48. Now in the next one, again, this is pretty much the same, except this 5 here, that the bracket s plus 8 is being multiplied by, is negative. So let's see what effect that has. When we expand the brackets, we'll get 12s plus 8. Then we'll get negative 5s subtract 40, and that's because we have negative 5 times s and negative 5 times 8. Then collecting the like terms in this expression gives us 7s take away 32. Next, I've kept that negative 5 in the middle there. I've kept that 5 negative, and what I've also done is I've made the bracket here s take away 8. So we'll see what effect that has on our answer. So when we multiply out the brackets, we're going to get 12s plus 8, subtract 5s, but now we will get add 40, because negative 5 times negative 8 gives us positive 40. Collecting like terms here gives us 7s plus 48. And lastly, so I've kept the negative 5, I've kept the 5 negative, I've kept this bracket s take away 8 here, but now I've made the 4 at the beginning negative. So let's see what effect this has. So I'm going to get negative 12s take away 4, and that is because I've got a negative times a positive and a negative times a positive. So both of these terms will be negative. Then I have negative 5s, but I will have plus 40. And then collecting like terms in this expression gives us negative 17s plus 36. Now remember, you may have got rearranged versions of these answers, because we can use bubbles and rearrange our answers to get identical expressions, so you have to take the initiative to mark that yourself. Here are 2 more questions for you to do, so pause the video and have a go at these. Okay, so we'll go through the answers to these 2. So when we multiply out the brackets, we are going to get 12 from 3 times 4, negative 30k from 3 multiplied by negative 10k. We will get plus 10k from positive 5 multiplied by positive 2k, and then negative 55 from positive 5 multiplied by negative 11. Collecting the like terms in this expression gives us negative 20k take away 43. You may have got a rearranged version of this, negative 43 take away 20k, that's fine as well. And the last one, when we multiply out the brackets, we're going to get 6 times by 1 is 6. 6 multiplied by negative 5b. Oh, that's not right, is it? I'll change that one. So 6 multiplied by negative 5b is negative 30b. And then negative 3 multiplied by positive 2b is negative 6b, and negative 3 multiplied by positive 1 is negative 3. Collecting the like terms in this expression gives us 3 take away 11b, or you may have got negative 11b plus 3. So you're going to have a go at section E and F of the worksheet now, and then if you finish that in your allotted time, then you can come back to the video and have a go at this extension question. I'm going to reveal the answer to this extension question in about 5 seconds, so pause the video now and have a go at it before I reveal the answer. Okay, so the answer to this extension question, what is the greatest possible number of small rectangles that one can form by drawing 15 lines either horizontally or vertically? The answer is 42 rectangles.